What's up, guys? Greeny, and I'm sitting with my buddy Mark, who has a super interesting story.
Which one's that?
All of it. He's an expat from America who moved to Thailand, and we met, I don't know, about a year or so ago, just hanging out in Pattaya. And I didn't know, he stayed in touch. We've hung out a few times. I know he's been bouncing all over Thailand, but I didn't realize or know exactly what he's been up to, what he kind of has a motivation. He has a scheme, and I didn't know what he was doing, but we're going to talk about it. You guys are going to be impressed or disgusted. I don't know, but let's get into it. Before we talk about what you've been doing here, so when did you retire in America? You're from America. Where are you from?
Correct. Philly originally, outside of Philly, and Washington, D.C. the last 20 years.
Okay, so you're an East Coast guy.
Correct.
Okay, and then when did you pull the plug on corporate life?
June of 2020.
June of 2020. And you were in finance or something, or?
Yeah, consulting, financial services, banking.
Okay.
Boring.
So you're pretty good with money.
No.
You're not poor though, right? You
I hope not.
made a little nest egg and retired.
Yes.
And hope to live the rest of your life on that.
Hopefully.
Okay. And when did you move to Thailand?
Officially flew here middle of August last year.
August last year. Okay. And you've made one major purchase since you've been here. What is that? Tell the people what that is.
The old, what we call them here in Thailand is the motorbike, but it's a scooter everywhere else in the pretty much free speaking world.
Okay.
Honda PCX.
Honda PCX, like 150.
160, yeah.
160?
160.
Okay. So what I didn't know, we met and I just thought, oh, you're this normal guy. Right?
No.
Normal guy?
Normal.
Anyways, Mark, as you watch videos on YouTube, guys, they travel all over, Petty Doyle, trying to hit every province on his motorbike in Thailand. Well, Mark doesn't do YouTube. He does, but he doesn't. He's been documenting his travels, but he hasn't really, he's just kind of saving them all up till he gets settled and then he'll probably have so much. I mean, how much footage do you think you have? Like tons of hours, right?
Years, probably. Overall. I've been doing it for a long time.
Okay, but not a YouTuber. But what Mark's done is he's been traveling all over. But on top of trying to see like everywhere in Thailand, he's trying to spend less than $1,000 a month, right?
1,000 baht a day is the challenge.
1,000 baht a day.
Correct.
But is that cost average? So if you spend 800 one day, you can spend.
Yeah, I look at every month individually. So it's each month at a time, whether it's February 20th.
Okay, but you cost average over the month. You can spend 1,200 one day and 800 the next.
Oh yeah, over the day. Yes, sorry, not the month.
Right.
The day, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I just look at the month end and try to stay with
so
it.
how's it been going?
It's been going well. It's really easy to do when you're somewhere stable and stationary, like I was in Chonburi or Pattaya, Jomtien area for the first couple months. Obviously, I took a week off, went to Japan, which didn't count, but that was its own separate category.
Okay.
Barely did the challenge there in a week, or 6 days in Japan. It was like $800, but again, that was completely separate. This challenge was just for Thailand.
Okay, let's start. All right, before we get to the money, let's start with the travel. So where have you been? You flew in, and where did you start, in Bangkok, or where did you start?
Well, fly into Bangkok like most people do, and then went right down to Pattaya.
So you didn't spend any time in Bangkok?
No. Took my taxi straight there after the airport.
Okay, so you got to Pattaya. Where did you stay there?
I just stayed in a hotel for the first week-ish. Yeah, about the first week. It was a little bit harder to find a condo than it was previously with the return to tourism, or pretty much normalcy. The same condo I'd been staying several times over the past several years wasn't available, so I was on Facebook Marketplace, a go to everything under the sun, trying to track down, appropriate condo. So that took a little while to get that done. But after that, then I moved into my first condo over on Pratamnak Hill, and I was there for 1 month.
How did you like that area?
The area is really nice. I liked it. What I didn't like is Buddha Hill and Pratamnak Hill, just the up and down all day, every day. It's kind of a little pet peeve of mine. It just wasn't convenient. I didn't like doing that.
Right.
And that hill is really bumpy too.
Okay.
Another little pet peeve, but a nice area otherwise, really nice.
Yeah, especially when you were there. Like now, it's getting more crowded, more out of control.
Correct.
you know.
Yeah.
So you were there for a month, and then where'd you head to next?
Then down to Jomtien. I got my next condo down there, and that's where I stayed for 3 months.
Okay, so we're 4 months in,
Mhm.
1 month in Pratamnak, 3 months in Jomtien. What did you like more, Jomtien or Pratamnak, do you think?
Jomtien for sure.
Oh, really? Why?
Just quieter, closer to the beach. Didn't have to deal with Buddha Hill or Pratamnak Hill. You could just basically walk out of your place and walk to certain things if you wanted to. But yeah, just it was a slower pace and much quieter there than Pratamnak for me.
Okay, and then you left there, and where did you go?
Koh Chang. So I went down there for 3 weeks, drove the motorbike down, took the ferry over, and then Mr. Chris came over and visited for a couple of days as well.
Okay.
So
Did you incorporate our buddy Chris? He does a YouTube Shorts channel.
yeah. So I was down there for 3 weeks.
And did you like that? You stayed by the Lonely Beach area?
Between Lonely Beach and Klong Kloi, it
Okay.
was Bai Lan, I guess is technically the name of the area. So it was real, again, quieter part, this more southern part of Koh Chang. So you're
Right.
past
I
White
like that area.
Sands. Yeah. So that was real nice, real chill spot.
Okay. We'll get to after we talk about where you've been so far. We'll talk about kind of what you think your favorite was. And stuff. So Koh Chang. So you're all the way around in Trot. So you've been in obviously started in Bangkok, Chonburi, went through Rayong, Chantaburi, Trot.
Yeah, I'd been to Rayong before. Last trip I was down and went to Koh Samet
Okay.
for a couple of days. And actually on this trip here, I went to Kanchanaburi for one night just to kind of check out the area. Chantaburi, sorry.
Yeah.
For one night before I went over to Koh Chang.
Okay. And then from Koh Chang, what did you do?
Came back to Jomtien just for like a day and a half, just to kind of rest up from the ride in.
Rode all the way on your motorbike from Koh Chang back to Jomtien?
Yeah.
About, what, 5 hours or so?
No, it wasn't quite that. I think it was only about 3.5. I stopped off and saw our friend Tom on the way up and, hit a viewpoint or
Okay.
two.
That's in Banchan.
Mm-hmm.
And got back there, and then what?
That was just to sort of regroup and then to make my way around to Hua Hin, where I stayed the night there, met up with other buddy Jay. But that was really only a means to an end to get down south where we are now, obviously. And the only reason I did that because the Seahorse/Dolphin ferry was still not back up and running.
Okay, so you wanted to take the ferry from Setahip to Koh Samui and
Correct.
and
Start
skip
there.
the long ride.
Correct.
On
Yeah.
the bike.
That was the
Okay.
original plan.
But you had to drive all the way around. How was that drive?
Just the worst part of it was the first leg because that was a good 260.
Getting through Bangkok.
270 kilometers, yeah. So thanks to Lucas Rides for Kicks, I followed his video from like 3 years ago, I think. Left Nha Jomtien at like 4 a.m. to get through Bangkok nice and early so the traffic wasn't too
Oh,
bad.
that's a great idea.
Get that little ferry, hop down through there, and did a little stop right outside of Bangkok once I got, off the major roads.
Okay.
And then it was like an hour hop from there down to Hua Hin.
So you've been in Bangkok, probably went through Samut Sakhon and a
Yep.
bunch of other little places, and
Yep.
then ended up in Hua Hin. How long did you stay in Hua Hin?
Just overnight. Stayed there almost a full day, but again, it was just really a means to an end. And pulled up there, met up with my buddy Jay,
Okay.
met him for dinner, coffee the next morning, and then I took off, went down to Chumpong.
So you didn't you didn't hang out in Hua Hin enough to get a real flavor of the town then?
Not a real flavor, but we toured around the town that night. Jay'd been there a while, so we toured around town, saw the sort of the sights, the bigger hotels, went on the beach, all that kind of stuff. So I got a little bit of a feel for it.
And then when was your where did you head to after that?
Chumpong to get the ferry over
Okay.
to Koh Tao.
Oh, you went to Koh Tao next, and then how long did you stay there?
Month, 31 days actually. Yeah.
Wow, that's my favorite island. You guys know that's my favorite island. And so, all right, so you've been to other islands after, but let's get to this point right now. So between Koh Chang and Koh Tao, which one did you prefer more?
Probably Koh Tao. And again, it's I think all relative to the timing. Koh Chang, it felt a little bit busier with the tourism at that time when I first got to Koh Tao, and just the way Koh Tao is laid out, it's a much smaller island than Koh Chang. And again, I was down there in the Chao Luk area. Again, a little bit more the southern end, so I could literally walk to the beach if I wanted to that way, maybe 10 minutes. Or jump on my motorbike, go like 1.5 kilometers and go to the My Had area, which is right next to the pier in town.
Yeah, I know where
They were my two favorite beaches to kind of hang out at during the day when I did the beach time.
It's such a cool island. I love it.
It is.
So you were able, so Champan, how often does a ferry run that you can take a motorbike on from Champan to Koh Tao?
I did the night ferry. I'm not sure if the day ferry is the bigger one because it's only the larger ones that allow you to take motorbikes and cars on. And those are kind of what I call the rough ferries. They're the big guys that just kind of have the dumper on the end. And
okay, I've never went on one of those.
So I'll show you a photo. But when my bike came across, there was a big front end loader and 3 or 4 large gas tankers, piles of gravel, piles of sand, and then my bike was tethered to a gas tanker and this front end loader and just tethered in between. So I was real happy to see that, but the bike made it unscathed.
Yeah,
surprised.
I mean, I did drive on ferries like that going to, like Lanta, going to Koh Chang, but not that big probably. Yeah. Okay, so a month on Koh Tao, that he liked that. That was good. And then where did you go from there?
There I took the another night ferry from there to Suratani, and then so I got there like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I drove to Krabi.
Okay. So Krabi, how long did you hang out in like Krabi town or Ao Nang, or like where did you hang out in Krabi?
Krabi town.
Krabi town, okay.
Yeah, and again, that was a real nice area. So right on the river inlet part section of that, but did the boat tour one day there as well. So got to the one side of Ao Nang, but I did the ferry or the pier on the other side.
Did you go to Relay Beach?
We drove up to it on the boat tour.
Okay, so you didn't get out and hang out?
No, we weren't really.
When you get back down there, gotta walk around there and explore that area. It's friggin' amazing. They got that cave with the boing boing boings there.
Yeah. Penis cave.
Yeah, a phallic cave. All right, so that area, and then from there you went to Lanta, right?
Yes. Drove down there was there for 3 days, and then drove down to Lanta. Took the small ferry across to there, and then Koh Lanta. And then I'm staying there for 7 days, a full week.
And you really liked that place, right?
Love that place. I had a great little spot right on the beach, and it was just awesome. Very chill, kind of like a lot like Koh Chang in terms of the chill, the vibe, the real island
but even
experience.
less developed, like just.
Yeah, and that was longer, sort of more sprawled out, a smaller island overall. But as far as Koh Chang is larger, but you really have the western side. You can go around to the other side, but again, you can't fully navigate the island because of the national park. So you really have the one side where with Koh Lanta, you can kind of get all around that island, but there's like little pockets or what I almost call like little villages here and there. So again, real nice chill vibe.
It reminded me of like the first time when I went to Jamaica, like in the, I don't know, late 80s, early 90s, or so. Like before it got overly developed. It was developed in places, but I went to a city called Negril, and it was totally underdeveloped then, and that's what it kind of reminded me of that, before it gets developed. I loved it. Okay, so you left Lanta, and then where?
From Lanta, I went up to Phang Nga, and I did a couple days there.
Okay.
So that was just a little the other side of Krabi.
Right, I know. Yeah, on the top there or whatever.
Correct.
Yep. And then
from there, I went down to Phuket. I'd been to Phuket twice before, been to the Patong area, which is actually where I ended up staying. But I just wanted to check out the rest of Phuket, Rawai, Kamala.
Ride the motorbike
around, go over to Old Town Phuket and kind of take in the sights and sounds of that place a little bit. I'd been to the Bangla Road and Patong area and almost pretty much avoided that other than, I kind of lived right on the outskirts of it.
Yeah.
Or stayed.
Okay, and then you left and met me we're in Khao Sok National Park right now. As my English friends would say, a brilliant little coffee shop here. We're just surrounded. You can't see. I don't know. Maybe I'll splice something on. Maybe I won't. But all kinds of little bamboo huts, raised little huts, everything around here, and surrounded by mountains. And you got the national park. So real cool area. We drove around on the motorbikes and did sightseeing and did hiking yesterday. And like I told Mark, that was one of my top 20 exercise type sightseeing days, nature that I've had here. I did a few in Pai that were awesome. And I love this type of thing. So what do you think about this area?
Oh, it's really nice. Again, very chill, but as we both kind of deduced, there's, you're here for the hiking. You can do the streams and spend a good bit of time in the water, messing around with the fish. And Greeny was having some other experiences as well. But I think beyond that, you have to drive out a good bit in either direction for other things. But if you're here for the hiking and just kind of chilling, taking in the nature, and then the town has a pretty good little segment, a lot of little restaurants, a lot more than I thought would be here. So that was kind of neat.
So where are you headed next?
Next, up to Rainon, which is tomorrow morning.
Rainon. I've never been there, so and then what? Just lay out your quick plan of in the next couple months where you see yourself going.
Just slowly start moving north. So I'll go to Chompoon for after there, and I'll probably stay there probably a week or two. I really like that town. I was only there for an afternoon on the way down before I went over to Koh Tao.
Beautiful beaches there.
Yeah, looked really, really nice. Great viewpoints, great little fishing village.
Undisturbed like beaches in Champagne, like just it hasn't been built up yet. Maybe we should just keep that our little secret.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
And then
after that, probably Hua Hin. Probably catch up with Jay if he's still there, staying there a couple days or so, and then again just slowly start making my way north. Any kind of major city, I'll be kind of just winging it at that point. Eventually, I want to get up all the way up to Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, and then probably.
So you're basically going from the very south all the way. Well, you didn't go south of Phuket though. Down there,
all the way, yeah. Well, further than the Koh Lanta.
You don't want to get. So once you make it to the top, do you think you'll cross over into Laos at all? And explore that? I might meet you for that. I might ride after this motorbike adventure. I'm thinking about riding my motorbike up there.
You could easily do it. Just again, doing little segments.
I'm going to research to see if we can drive it into Laos, and that's where I want to go. I mean, it's just watching some of Patty Doyle's videos in there. It was just looks amazing.
Yeah, looks really beautiful up there. So that'll be the plan. Maybe by late May, probably up there.
All right, and now you're doing all this traveling, all this adventure for under $1,000 a month, basically.
At this point, yes, yeah.
Wow, and you have a spreadsheet and you're keeping track of it, everything.
App on the phone, yeah.
So are you like a broke son of a bitch that just doesn't have any money, or explain why you're doing it? Because I was kind of surprised. I got that like, Mark, I thought you had some money, but why are you doing it?
Yeah, again, I just call it my challenge. It's not even a budget, and I'm not trying to flex in either direction. Just for the 6 years that I've been coming over, I told a lot of my friends, like, yeah, you could easily go over there and live on $1,000 a month if you wanted to. And of course, there's a million videos already on YouTube. The Greeny and a bunch of other guys have already done, guys, gals, whatever. So I just kind of made it my own little personal challenge for the first year to see if I can actually, walk the walk. So $1,000 kind of just
that number you just
translates, but it translates a little better into around the 30,000 baht figure right now, with the dollar being stronger. It's like 35,000 baht. But again, I just broke it down to make it simple. 1,000 baht a day. So if it's February, that was 20,000, 30 days, 30,000, so on and so forth.
And you've even like spending less than that because you figured the cost of your motorbike into it, right? And you're dividing that out for the year, right?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of just see how that extrapolates from there. And again, I won't fully know that figure until I would sell the bike or do something else. But I want to put it in there so it's
And then after a year, you're going to go back to normal or a little bit different. And
I'll probably just alter the plan, I guess. I just wing it, just kind of wing it.
You get kind of used to living on a certain lifestyle.
You do, and again, as I've told you and some others, it's kind of just my own little silly personal challenge. But then, kind of the way my mind works, you have this thing, and it doesn't matter if I want to do something, I'll do it. But you kind of get it in the back of your mind, so your subconscious sometimes works against you,
right?
To kind of keep you.
It's kind of good this year doing it the way the stock market's been. Like, if things kind of start taking off more, then all right, I'll just spend more, because you don't have a pension, right? You're just living on your investments and everything, right?
Yeah. Which again, really, right now, I'm almost kind of living on. I'm not even worried about that because I brought a fair chunk of money over here when the dollar was really high, so that money came over at a really good exchange rate. So that's what I'm just kind of working.
So you're living on your time money. You're not even bringing more money over right now from America. Oh, that's cool. I wish I had the wherewithal to try to do stuff like that. But then again, I'm married, so she kind of
different situation.
She kind of throws a bogey into my situation. All right, so what do you basically? All right, so give me an example of a day in the life of Mark, like what you eat, like what you would do, to entertain yourself.
It really depends where I'm at, but if I have my choice, I'm on an island somewhere. Get up, do my morning routine, mess with the phone, might do some exercise then, or when I get to the beach, go out in the water, do that kind of a thing. But if I have already explored the island, taken in the sights and sounds, do photos, videos, silly stuff like that. See what there is to see. Go to the viewpoints, lookouts, whatever's popular or it looks cool or interesting in that area. And that kind of ends up, filling up the better part of my day. Go back, get cleaned up a little bit, go out and try to find some awesome Thai food, which isn't very hard to do anywhere here. And that's my favorite. I kind of avoid Western food for the most, only because I love Thai food and I love the street food, as you know, and most of my friends here know. And that's it. It's a pretty chill lifestyle. I'm not really drinking right now or hanging out in bars, doing that kind of a thing, and it doesn't really appeal
So
to
the
me.
majority of your cost is housing then, basically.
Absolutely. Oh, by far. Yeah, without a doubt.
Wow.
And can be transportation now, depending how much I'm moving around, because gas and stuff like that can
Yes,
add up.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. This lifestyle you've been living, you were telling me before that when you lived in America, you had like terrible allergies and muscle, or joint pain and a lot of different issues living in America. And then since you came here and you've changed your lifestyle and your diet and the air here, and you've lost weight, and tell them just a little bit about kind of the change in your body or the feeling that you've had since you've been living out in Thailand.
Yeah, well, I kind of really, maybe I'm down to 15, 20 pounds from 2 years ago, but I did that really while I was still in the stateside, my last year there, while I was selling everything, the house and so on and so forth. So I just kind of took a more directed approach to that. And that was just something I wanted to do. The allergies thing, though, that was this thing I had, hay fever, pollen, whatever you will call it, in the spring and in the summer, really bad in the States, but that just seemed to keep extending in the last several years. But when I traveled to Thailand, or even sometimes Texas or Florida in the States, wasn't nearly as bad. But here in Thailand, nothing. But ever since kind of doing that last little transformation, I guess, if you will, yeah, just all the dumb little stuff, little aches and pains occasionally, that kind of seemed to all go away. But over here, you kind of tend to lead a more active lifestyle in general. Of course, the last year at home, I'm stuck in my house. I'm just getting stuff. I'm selling stuff on eBay, doing whatever. I'm not doing a whole lot, working out there at the house. But I mean, other than that, and with COVID and the whole
You're
situation,
definitely not as active as here.
yeah, here every day you're doing something, going somewhere. And of course, it's endless summer. Even if you're just riding the motorbike around all day, we're sweating our butts off, doing whatever. But it's just a totally different lifestyle. So it's just awesome. I mean, I love it. Might not be for everybody, but
I don't. Out of anybody I know that's ever came here, no one's ever said they haven't liked it. So it could be for everybody. I've never had somebody say, I went to Thailand, it sucked. I didn't like it. But all right, bro.
cool.
Thanks for doing this little interview. I know that this is something that my viewers, my subscribers would be interested in. This is, they love this stuff. So, Greeny out. I'll make sure you subscribe. Greeny out.
Cool.
Greeny out.
Greedy out.
You can say Mark out.
Yeah, that's good.